I know you're frustrated. I know that you see a lot of people around you being successful. Their business took off, they're making 6-7 figures, that book took off. Things just seem to be working out for them. They got into the marriage they wanted, they're in the best shape of their life, they have their dream home. You see all of this success and you look at your life and you think, why not me? What is wrong with me? Why is this not working out for me? Maybe I'm just not cut out for it. Maybe my life currently as it is, I just need to accept it for what it is. I know that you're probably thinking this because I've thought that same thing. I still struggle with some of those thoughts and I'm working through it. And that is why I want to talk to you about it today. Because even though it's good to be content with where your life is at right now, you also don't want to use that as an excuse to delay where God could be calling you to go. But in order to go where God is calling us to go, we need to understand the difference between people that become successful, people that achieve that goal versus people that don't. It's not about the fact that they hustled harder. It's not about the fact that they had better luck. It's not about the fact that they were just in the right rooms more than you were in the right rooms. It's not first and foremost about those things. It's the mindset. The reason why people succeed versus people that don't is because they became a different person. You have to change, my friend. You have to become a new iteration of you, a different person. I do not mean your personality. I do not mean who God made you to uniquely be. I am talking about the traits of your future self. You have to put that on in order for that future goal to even work in the first place. The reason why it is not is because you are trying to pursue that future goal while operating in the current version of yourself. It's not going to work. They're going to be in conflict with each other. This is the biggest differentiator between people that truly succeed and those that do not. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for us? It means starting now, you need to let go of the habits, the consistency, and the characteristics of your current self, and instead put on the habits, the consistency, and the characteristics of your future self. I'm going to break all that down here in a second because I truly believe that it's important to talk about it. But before I do, let me start off by saying, doing that, letting go of the current you and putting on the future version of you, it's going to be uncomfortable. You are going to feel awkward. Why? Because you're not that person yet. You trying to put on the future version of you that you are not yet, it's not going to feel like you. It's not going to feel like yourself. It's going to be different. And because you're not used to that, there's going to be some friction. There's going to be some conflict. There's going to be a lot of, I don't want to do this. But instead of looking at that as something that you just feel entirely out of alignment with, you have to look at that as necessary in order to reach the future goal, the calling, the dream that God has been putting on your mind for a long time now. There is a way to be content with where God has you now while pursuing full-heartedly with full faith in where He's calling you to go. But again, you doing that requires a change in yourself. So let's break this down. Let's start with changing your habits. What habits do you currently have that are causing you to delay your God-given calling? Think about that. Do you have a habit of not waking up early enough? Do you have a habit of watching too much TV and not reading enough books that are going to pour into you, that are going to level up your skill set so that you can successfully do what God is calling you to do? Do you have a habit of being so introverted that you refuse to get into the right rooms? You refuse to network. You refuse to find community and mentorship to help you get to where God is calling you to go. Think about your habits now. Because a lot of those habits right now, my friend, cannot go with you in the future. But when you think about that successful version of you, meditate on what her habits are like, what his habits are like. They're in the rooms. They're not watching so much TV. They're waking up at a good enough time in order to create more space and time in their day. They're prioritizing God's word before they start or do anything else in their day because they know that that is essential to them actually going about that day successfully. Think about that, because that's what it's going to take to get to that future goal that you're referring to. I am literally in that season of my life right now. I always woke up at a decent time, maybe between 6 and 7 o'clock. Recently, I've been trying to change that between 5 to 6 o'clock in the morning. And the reason why is because I wanted to create more time in my day to implement things that I feel like I didn't have enough time for, like working out or studying, or even just going about my morning a little bit more slowly so that I don't feel rushed. My mind is more active and engaged when I start my workday, and therefore I'm more productive in doing what God is calling me to do. Things like that matter, my friend. What habits do you got right now that gotta go so that you can replace them with the habits that the future version of you has so that you can reach that goal? Second thing, consistency. You have to be the consistent version of you that your future self is. Because right now, the reason why things are not working for you in regards to you reaching your version of success in whatever it is that you're going after, one of those reasons is because of your lack of consistency. You're not consistent enough, or you're consistent with the wrong things versus learning to get consistent with the right ones. A lot of times when we lack consistency, and we have a really hard time trying to get consistent, we end up being so wishy-washy with it, so double-minded, versus just straight up being as consistent as we possibly can be, because we know that that is what it's going to take in order to do what God is calling us to do. Meditate on the consistency of your future self. Put that on. It's not going to be comfortable. You're not going to want to do it. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to feel like it's perfectly in alignment with you because it's not you yet. But putting that on will help you get to that version of you. Lastly, characteristics. A lot of the characteristics you have right now have to go so that you can make room to put on the characteristics of your future self. What do I mean by characteristics? The way that you handle your emotions, the way that you react and respond to things, the way that you handle what feels like failures, the way that you navigate pivots and transitions that you weren't expecting. All of that needs to be changed because the future version of you that reaches that level of success is able to handle all of those things more maturely and more wisely. Success is hard. Failure is difficult. And it's the reason why a lot of people quit or they give up or they end up not starting at all because they can't seem to get past overcoming failure, or they can't seem to accept that this is going to be difficult. But when you adjust your characteristics to fit the type of person that can handle that, that goal becomes much more attainable because you are more mentally, emotionally, and spiritually prepared, equipped. You have the capacity to hold that. All of these things that I'm talking about here, habits, consistency, characteristics, honestly, they are all pulled from the Bible, who Jesus is. I truly believe that reaching success should be modeled after Jesus himself. He is the literal roadmap to how we navigate this life, to how we reach goals, to how we do this thing with God at the center of everything that we do. Jesus had habits of showing up, of preaching, of even taking time away frequently to spend time with God, teaching. He had these habits that he went about every day. He was consistent in those things. He became known for those things. He did not give up on those things. And characteristics, how he handled when people didn't like him, how he handled even his emotions and bringing those to God, how he handled still being kind and non-judgmental and still pursuing his calling despite the chaos of everything that was happening around him and to him. If Jesus did that, then that is the model that we need to look to. My friend, the reason why it hasn't been working for you is because you have not changed. You have not adjusted your habits, your consistency, or your characteristics enough. This is not a wishy-washy thing. This is not something that you can be double-minded with. This is hyper-focus, where you are dedicated. You are obedient in doing what God is calling you to do, because God does not call you to stay where you're at. He calls you to grow. He calls you to reach a new height. And in order to do that, you have to change. You have to become who he knows that you can be. But you have to believe that you also can become that person, because if you don't believe it, you're not going to do it. It starts with us, my friend. The reason why I wanted to come on this YouTube video and just straight up talk about it is because I know that this is a common thing for so many of us, and we just don't realize it. Even for myself, I've had to make changes. I am making changes. It is really hard work, but this is the hard work that a lot of us end up not doing, and therefore we're just stagnant, or we end up never progressing where God wants us to go. You can do it. I know you can. You just have to be willing, be receptive, be obedient in changing. You do that, the success, the goal, what God is calling you to, it's right there. It's right there. I hope today's video encouraged you and uplifted you. Feel free to share it with a friend who you think could use these random words of encouragement today, because hey, a lot of times we just need that. And if you want more videos like this, subscribe to this channel. We drop videos twice a week talking about all things mindset, marketing, and money God's way. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you soon.